Hi everyone, I'm Grahtles, and yeah, I'm back with this Windrose demo. So I just completed the Windrose demo, and this game, it has so many aspects that I didn't really talk about in my playthrough of the demo. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description. I did a full playthrough of the demo, and yeah, I posted it. It was 2.5 hours long. For a game that's about 4 to 6 hours to play. I cut out a lot of the resource gathering and stuff. But anyway, this game, the building aspect, the combat, the sailing, I think the most underrated part of this demo is the building. And yeah, I'm gonna go into that a little bit more today with a little bit of my feelings about the game as a whole. This demo was, again, a huge demo. It was, I think, like I said, 4 to 6 hours to get through, which is a pretty good complete demo. It's almost like a mini game, because you get to play. It has like a start and a middle and an end, so that's really good. So anyway, let's break down a little bit of the pros and cons, and I'll get a little bit more into the building. So I must say, right from the get-go, you do get this pirate vibe. It is super pirate vibe. I love it. You get to explore islands, you sail between locations, you do get a fast travel, you get shipwrecks that are laying around that feel like it's part of the world, and they do a really good job at it. Just the visual aspect of it, too. I mean, it just looks super piratey, and somebody threw shit down, of course. The sailing mechanisms. Let's talk about the mechanics in the sailing. So let's hop on a ship. So yeah, once you get on your ship, you have this queue menu, and it shows you your cargo, and you get some repair kits. You have to make some cannons, you got your hull bracing, and you got your boarding party. If you look around, you will see some crewmen. Well, he just spawned in. You got down here, which doesn't give you a lot down here, which it kind of showed you a little bit more of your cargo or whatever. But yeah, you get a crew. So let's jump in and press E. And they start moving around, which is pretty darn cool. If I was to press B, they start singing for me, which is super cool. If you press F, you get a wider view. So over there you see that Blackbeard's transport ship. You can actually take that on and fight them. You could see the other islands that you could sail to. They give you 3 islands to start with, which is pretty nice. And yeah, it's a really cool sailing aspect. I don't want to take on the ship. I did that before in my playthrough, so you could check that out in there. So yeah, let's go ahead back to the island. Now I want to show you something really cool. If I get out of this mode and I hit the M for my map, I can actually quick travel right from my boat. Nice, nice, nice. And they kind of put the ship right on the end there. So let's talk about the building mechanics, because this is my favorite part. Alright, so yeah, me and my friend Fen, we actually built this. He built that right there, that lighthouse. It looks amazing. And you could do pretty nice circles in here, which is great. It's not exactly a circle, but they do give you different levels of degrees on which you can turn stuff. You can overlap things, which is really cool. That it has snapping. And they do have quite a lot of accessories to go into the game to make it feel whole. They also, like, this is the let's click B here. This is the fast travel right here. You can fast travel between islands. This right here is the wharf, and it goes so nicely. This is an individual piece, but you can stick it in here that it fits nicely within the build. So you don't have to have it off to the side and it look completely separate. It just fits right in, like I said, to the build. This is an individual piece, and they give you quite a lot of building pieces for a demo. So this is basically your utilities and your crafting and stuff like that. Some of it needs to be under a roof, some of it not. You get storage options, which is super nice, and labels, so you can actually label all the things you have. And I'll take a look at that now. Let's just see. Let's just take a food one just for the hell of it. But where how do we do this? Just flip it around. Flip it around. There we go. So as you can see, it's not going on the right angle. If I press Q, I can go down to a 15 degree, but I have to get out of the build menu and back into it for it to take effect. Then I can fit it on there. So this was all built on a 15 degree angle, and that's why that would not match, because it automatically, when you start your game, will go to the 30 degree, snapping will be on, and then you could also have a nice view. If you press V, it gives you a much higher view, so you can see things a little bit clearer when you're building. So I do love that aspect. Let's go back in. We get floors and walls. So you get stone, and you do get these pier-like things that are pre-built. You get these large planks, which are nice, and you get these thatched walls, stone walls, plank walls. They do have a little bit of angle. They have the triangle pieces for your roofing, which is next. You get some roofing, which is really nice. You get some of these pillars, which have angles on them. They can go straight, the 45, the 26, 64, and other. You get some windows, which is nice. They have the wooden windows and kind of the thatched windows, which is pretty cool. You get these stairs, you get these planks or this kind of plant fiber. You get a ramp, and you get some stone ones, which is nice. You get some fences you could put around things. Decorations, you get quite a few things. Tables, chairs, mugs, canopies, lighting, vases and dishes, supplies, total amount of good stuff right here. Farming, they did not give us any farming in the demo. I would have liked to have seen a little bit of farming just to get the aspect of what it is, even if they only allowed us to replant trees, because you do farm a lot of stuff in the game, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, that would have been nice to have just a little bit of aspect of farming. And then we get a couple of pre-built structures. So in the building mode, let's just pick something. Let's see the floors. These are the piers, and you can make them snap to certain things, but you could also send them kind of standalone, which is nice. But they will snap off of each other if you have the snapping on, and that's pretty nice. You get this building radius. So wherever your I say a lot. Wherever your bonfire is. Mine happens to be up in here. If I click this, and let's click out of here a second. Oh, we'll just click that. It's a little smaller. You'll see this like building radius. Yes, it is dark, but you see that white line that goes and encompasses the whole build area. If you'd like to move your bonfire so you could build a little bit off, you can do that as well. But as long as you're standing inside this white radius, you can build with whatever is in your storage. So you don't have to have it in your inventory. It can be in your storage. As soon as I go outside of this, unless I have the resources in my inventory, then I can't build it. I could build, say, something that was in my inventory. Say, well, I don't have anything in my inventory, apparently. So, but I do like the aspect that it pulls strictly from all your resources, all your storage. That is a nice aspect for sure. Build mode, the only thing I dislike sometimes is that you can't destroy more than like one thing. You can't like glide over this, and you have to do one thing at a time. Now, one thing that it does show is like structural integrity. which is one of the things that if you break something down that's on a pillar, the whole thing will collapse. So if you build up, and then you break the bottom, the whole thing will collapse. Here's another aspect I wanted to talk about, and that is the weather. They give you such nice dynamic weather. The storm is coming in. You can see, you get the thunder and lightning. You can hear the waves getting bigger as the storm's coming in. That is super nice. Alright, so let's talk about the next kind of bit. Overall, I would say it's a solid demo. There is some cons. So you get put in this one island. You start on the first island. It's not as difficult as the other two islands, I would say. And there's a lot of grind. To build all this stuff, you have to collect your own resources, which is fine. I don't mind doing it, especially when I had my friend helping me. Thank you, Fen. He helped me gather all the stone and the trees. And one of the aspects of not being able to farm was the lack of tree growth. So like our first, let's go back to the first island. If I go back to the first island, it's quite bare. I had to cut down a lot of trees with him. And with that, we kind of lost half the island because it is, let's turn around, quite bare. You'll see over as we run, it's kind of dark. I should have waited till daytime. But we kind of plucked a lot of this island free of trees. So there is hardly any trees at all. You know, there's some. But eventually, if we keep building, there'll be none. And so... Whoa, I almost fell into that hole. So, yeah, you can't replant the trees. I'm sure in the full game you will be able to. But in this, you will not be. So if you're playing the demo and you want to build and you need a lot of trees, it will not respawn. So you got to take that into consideration. But one thing that I found out that was really cool, and I don't know if this is going to be in the full game, is that if you put stuff in your inventory and you put stuff in your ship and you go on to another game save, it will keep the stuff you have. So if you don't have enough wood and you've cleared every island, you may want to save a save that you like and that you want to build on, and then start a new save. So this way you can actually get your materials, trees mainly, because you do respawn stone and you do respawn copper and clay and all those things into the world. It's only the trees that I have found that I can't get back. The plant fiber, that stuff. I don't know if the plant fiber respawns, but I don't know. But the trees definitely do not respawn. So that is something you got to take into consideration. Let's talk about the things you can and can't build and work with. So you got these kilns, and you got the copper, and you could smelt the copper, and you make charcoal from wood, which is super nice. We should take all that and put it in the barrel here. Or you could hit this right here, deposit similar. It'll deposit all the similar inventory, which is, again, really nice. I love that aspect. So you don't put anything in that you don't want to. Over in here, the weapons workshop and the armory. So once we played this demo and we upgraded the filibuster stuff and the markman, this stuff was really good to have, and you can upgrade it all with this, which is nice. And it looks right here like we'll be able to get workers to do this stuff, which is kind of really interesting. But anyway, once you upgraded this, really the armor and clothes thing we can't use in the demo anymore once you get the clothes you're going to wear. Weapons, you can still get a lot of weapons. You can still upgrade them, ascend them. Again, if you run out of resources, like when you go from island to island, you'll get rum and you'll get gunpowder and you'll get stuff like that. I'm not sure if the gunpowder respawns. I don't think so. Again, if you want more rum, you're gonna have to either bring down a ship and collect the spoils from that ship, or you'll have to start a new save to get some new treasure. So that's one of the things that, you know, you're going to need to do. You can get an alchemy table in the demo. That would be this. And you can make some potions for yourself, which is pretty nice. You also can get this cooking station right here, the stove and pot. I don't know, it looks nice in here, but it really didn't upgrade our food, I don't think, too much. But I think it's going to have a purpose in the main game, obviously, as well as this cutting board that leveled it up to 2. So yeah, it gives us cooking station 2, but I think this is supposed to upgrade. You can't do anything with it, so it didn't upgrade anything. I just used it for the looks, basically. Here's your regular workbench. You can craft nails if you've run out of nails from crash sites. You can definitely make yourself some more nails. You can make yourself a backpack, which will give you more inventory space and stuff like that. Also, you want to refill your lamp with animal fat to make sure you can use it when you go into the dark. If I come over to here and I press 7, it lights my way up now, which is excellent. I love that. Make sure you shut off that lantern because you will run out of animal fat quickly. Another point I wanted to show you was, again, as long as you have resources that you need, let's go grab a couple of resources so I could show you what I'm going to talk about next. Alright, so here's one of quite a few caves that you can explore. Here I got my lantern on. I could definitely see a lot better. You can see the copper respawned. If I hit the build menu, I can actually put in some storage here if I needed it. I could also go in and go to crafting and put down torches, so I can see my way and what's around the corner pretty nicely. So let's go back to the entrance. There we go. So you can light up your way in these caves as long as you have the resources on you, which is super nice that you can access that. If you want anything else, I'm pretty sure, let me get out of that view a second. Can I put down a workbench? Probably, yeah, I could. So yeah, you could even put a workbench down. So you could do a lot of stuff outside of your radius of the building. So that will come in handy, especially the torches inside the caves, because they are dark. So I did want to mention that, which is super nice. So yeah, I think overall this game has so much promise, so much, it looks fun. The sailing, the combat, all that is just super fun. But me, I love the building. The building is one of the best things and not very well talked about in a lot of the these reviews, and it is definitely a strong point. So I think if I had to pick any cons, and that's being nitpicky, is that there was a lot of gathering resources at the beginning, you know, collecting stuff, but to me, the game, any game, grinding early on, it gives you a sense of completion or accomplishment when you get things done, because you did get all those materials and you got all those materials to make something really nice. So I don't mind a little bit of grind, even if it seems like a lot of grind at the beginning. I play Satisfactory. There's a lot of grind at the beginning. I mean, it just is. 2, the only other issue we had was in multiplayer. I played with 3 friends, and it was a little bit unstable. We got froze up a couple of times, the game crashed a couple of times, which, I mean, it's a demo. That's why it's a demo. It's a demo to, you know, report these bugs, and hopefully they can have them fixed. towards the end, I would say, more recently we played, we didn't have that issue. 4 of us went into combat, we took down ships, we, only one can kind of like have a boarding party to get on the ship, but you can gather up if you get your boat close enough and help take down some of those sailors, so you can do that. So another thing that really bugs me, and that's with every game that has this, I hate the alt tab out. I wish I could just hit escape, and once I do that, I can move my mouse to my other monitors. So it really is just a personal preference. I just hate tabbing out. Like if you go to do something in Discord when you're hanging out with your friends and you're playing the game, you gotta alt tab out, and it's a little annoying. But that's just minor, it's just me. So overall, the Windrose demo shows so much potential. So much. It's got such a great combination of building and sailing and exploration and combat, and in a huge demo like this, it just makes it so good. And I think all those aspects can make this a really interesting pirate survival game if the systems get a little bit more polished. It's not perfect yet, but I think the foundation of it is so good. For a demo, again, you get so much out of it. So now I'm a little bit curious. What do you guys think? Which part of the game has the most potential for you? The building, the combat, the sailing, the atmosphere? Let me know in the comments below. I really want to know what you think. And if you want to see more demos or playthroughs or a breakdown of the building, or a more detailed view of the building, listen in the comments below and I'll make a video for it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those good things. I have memberships, 99 cents, $2.99, and the $2.99 will get you a shout out after every video. And don't forget, it's fine. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.